Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's time for some tea with T on this Talk Therapy Tuesday. We've all heard that relationships take a lot of work, right? But what happens when that work that we're talking about becomes a cycle, a pattern that is constantly repeating itself over and over again? Arguments that continue to go in circles. Couples begin to resort to silence instead of solutions, or the lack of resolution or even repair. When it begins to produce resentment that builds but never gets named or even discussed. If you've ever found yourself wondering, why does this keep happening in your relationship? You're not alone. There are many people who are asking the same question. The answer, you are in a crazy cycle, a crazy pattern. And the first step to breaking free from these patterns isn't about changing the other person, but it is about confronting yourself. It's hard to accept that we might be the key to breaking this crazy cycle. So, here are 3 key steps to consider if you want to stop this cycle. The first is self-confrontation. Self-confrontation is hard. It means asking the uncomfortable questions. What am I contributing to this dynamic? And where am I and why am I reacting? Is it out of fear? Is it out of insecurity or maybe pride? Maybe some embarrassment, disappointment, maybe some feeling of disrespect? It's recognizing that just because you were hurt doesn't always mean you were right. That realization can be humbling, but it's also very freeing. When you confront your own behavior, you begin to reclaim your power. You're no longer just a passenger in the cycle, you become the pattern breaker. You pause before you begin to lash out. You speak your needs instead of expecting them to be read. And I tell you something, expecting people to know your needs is not a realistic expectation. You start to choose boundaries over blame. And sometimes the boundary is no, I can't, or I won't. Another key step is awareness. Negative patterns, they thrive in the dark when we're on autopilot. Start noticing when a conflict feels very familiar and ask yourself, have I been here before? Does this response feel familiar? Did this situation play out the same as the last time? If you are aware of the repetitive and familiar behavior, you can make a change. That awareness gives you the power to choose a different response the next time. And lastly, talk about it, not just with your partner, but with someone who can help you see clearly, like a therapist, maybe a trusted friend, or even a mentor. Relationships don't heal in silence, they heal in truth and the ability to be vulnerable and in a commitment to grow. So if you're stuck in a negative pattern, don't just wait for things to get better. Start with yourself. Be brave enough to look inward, wise enough to see the cycle, and strong enough to break it. Well, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed your tea with T on this Talk Therapy Tuesday. Have a great day.